Hello and welcome to another episode of NASA's Wednesday Musings. Today's musing is a remix. It's a remusing, if you like, if there's any word like that. It's a musing on a past musing. But first, I'd like to thank all my subscribers for continuing to be a part of this community. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, like, and share with your family and friends. Thank you. So, as I was saying, today's musing is a remusing, and it's essentially a musing on the topic that I did a couple of weeks ago on my truth and the truth. I'd like to thank all the people that continue to listen and watch with great intent and give feedback. So this was on the back of someone calling me to say, you know, I love all your musings, but this particular one I didn't quite like, and here's why. Genuine, wholesome feedback. And he was essentially highlighting that he felt like I was somewhat hedging on that topic. It was like I wasn't holding a particular position, and I sort of explained my perspective, but I also felt the need to probably shed more light on why I may have appeared that way, because I had different conversations with different people, and it was clear that maybe I do need to do something on the back of that to just clarify somewhat. But what I had also shared with the person that shared the feedback was like, you know, this is my muse, and it's not necessarily prescriptive. It's just how I'm thinking of things. It's essentially perspective and my true thoughts on a particular subject matter. So this topic today is perspectives. It's something that I find very important to talk about, just because I think the entirety of life is perspectives for the most part. So if you're looking at perspective versus the truth, the perspective is like the subjective one. It's framed based on our experiences, mindsets, what's in the environment we've been raised, etc. And the truth is something a little bit more defined and standard and verifiable universally, right? So when I talk about my truth and the truth, I'd said to someone, maybe we're using the wrong language. Maybe it's not supposed to be my truth. Maybe it's supposed to be my perspective, to then remove that conflict of having different versions of truth. But here's what it is. The truth in definition is something that's verifiable. When I say my truth, it's probably verifiable from where I'm standing and my experience, but then the truth is something that's probably verifiable universally, that everybody sort of accepts. And one of the things that really opened my mind and eyes to perspectives and the importance of perspectives and seeing that people have different viewpoints was that dress illusion thing that was making all the rage in 2015, and that essentially broke the dress that broke the internet. So, you know, recall people saw a dress that was supposedly blue and black, and then some people saw it as white and gold. I was one of the people that saw the dress in those two different colors. The first time I saw it, you know, I was so sure of what I saw, and when anybody else told me they saw a different color, I couldn't understand it. So I was so convinced because I know what I saw, and I'm of sound mind. So it didn't make sense to me that somebody would see something totally different until I saw the dress in white and gold. You know, you have a picture and you've seen it in this color, I didn't change it, and then you see it in the different color. Was the most bizarre thing, but also an eye-opener for me, because I just realized, like, you see how convinced I was from seeing that dress in one color. Somebody else saw it and they were sure. When I was able to see in both colors, I'm like, now I see why this person can't even understand what I'm saying. But the beauty of that for me was because I was now exposed to seeing the two different colors, and I could understand and accept the other person's point of view, or even acknowledge that they could have a different point of view because I could see it. Now, in a lot of life situations, it won't always be the case that you're able to see their perspectives very clearly. But what that has helped me do is to respect and even understand, come to an understanding that people can actually see things differently. Does not compel me to accept it, but what I'm compelled to do is acknowledge that they have a different understanding and viewpoint. And what then, and so as my friend asked, so how do you then deal with those situations? I'm like, well, so again, I'm going to have to go back. My truth is my truth. Like, my perspective is what I see, and you can't really change it. And what you see is, you're entitled to your perspective and your truth based on your experiences, and that's okay too. It doesn't cause any arguments. So I often say that when conversations get to the point of my perspective, it's pretty much a moot point. There's no point having that argument because what they're seeing is what they're seeing and what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. So let's call it a day. I'd like to enjoin you, if you like, to understand and appreciate that in life, people can share the truths from their perspective, and that's being those things that are not universally verifiable and acceptable. And then there can be the truth, or there is the truth, which is universally acceptable, which can have variations, right? So we can say my truth, we can say my perspective. The point is, it is based on that person's vantage point. And on that note, with perspectives, I'd like to say continue to listen and watch my musings, which are my perspectives. And I remain yours truly, Nasa.